In this episode, Who Will Marry You? Get to know Jasperien. Hi there, bridal couples to be.
Welcome to How to Get Married in Holland,
The ultimate wedding podcast of and about the Netherlands.
We, wedding ceremony experts, aka celebrants Daphne and Jasperien, share all ins and outs of getting married in our flat and fabulous country.
Enjoy listening. Hi Jasperien.
Hello.
Well, this episode is all about you.
Yeah, center of attention.
Yes,
That's
you
what
are.
that's what wedding couples don't like, and now I'm at the center of attention. But shoot, I would
But
say
it's a good thing for, future bridal couples to get to know who their future wedding celebrant will be. And so that's a good thing to get to know you. So first, can you please introduce yourself to us?
Of course I can. I'm Jasperien Meinhardt. That's pronounced the Dutch way. Happily married, 3 kids, and I live in the Netherlands, in the southwest, the sunny southwest, as I always say, in a lovely small village. Very happy there. Lived abroad in, a distant past in Barcelona and London, and never thought I would end up in a small village and be as happy as I am. So countryside, it's wonderful to be very happy there.
But you work all across the country, right?
Yes, I do. I'm an appointed wedding officiant in my local municipality. I have been for quite some time. And in 2012, I started my own company as an independent wedding officiant, which means that anyone who wants to have an officiant, to choose their own officiant, they can approach me and see whether we have a connection, and I will come wherever they want me to go.
Yeah, quite flexible. And I want to back it up a little because what did you do before you became a wedding celebrant?
Yeah, it all. I'm really doing something that I would never have thought of before, because during my college, my master's studies, for example, even I hated it when people would ask me a question. I was like very shy. But then I ended up in a commercial job in London. So I did my master's studies in Barcelona, lived there for 2.5 years, and then ended up in a commercial position in the outskirts of London. And there I really learned slowly, but very, very surely, that I enjoyed it very much to connect with people, to actually find out what their needs are, which is important when you are in marketing, and that I enjoyed doing presentations. So that's really how I discovered that speaking was something that I enjoyed very much. Eventually, I moved back to the Netherlands with my then boyfriend, who's now my husband, and I saw this advertisement in the newspaper for a wedding officiant at my municipality, and I applied, and I have not looked back ever since. I moved away from sales, but I am really doing something that I'm very, very passionate about, and I love it every time. Every wedding it's just wow, really. Even after all these years, it becomes, every time it becomes more special, I would say.
Yeah, and I don't know how this is for you listening to this podcast, or if you are watching at YouTube, and if you are listening, do take a look at the YouTube video, because Jasperien, when I look at you, you are glowing when you're talking about your job. So that's very lovely to see.
Yeah.
And we heard you saying you lived in Barcelona and London. So of course, I know what your specialty is, but do share it with us. What is your specialty as a wedding celebrant?
I speak my languages. So I speak Dutch, which is my mother tongue, and then I speak English, as you can hear. But I also speak Spanish. I lived 2.5 years in Spain, so my Spanish is pretty fluent, I would say. And apart from that, because I was doing an export job where languages are also very important, I speak German, I speak French, um, actually quite well. Not, flawless, but I always make sure that my speeches are checked by a native speaker in those cases. And the same goes for Italian and Portuguese. I think I have them all now. Oh, yes. And
Wow.
I do understand Catalan as well. And I can provide a speech in Catalan as well, in Catalan as well. But so I focus on international couples, but I love Dutch couples as well. Never forgetting Dutch couples. So my main line of business would be international weddings, mixed weddings, Dutch, Spanish, Dutch, English, and that's what you will hear in my ceremony as
Yeah.
well. Always, yeah.
Well, I can imagine if a bridal couple has quite an international gathering at their wedding,
Mm-hmm.
it's very nice for everyone to be able to follow the speech, right?
Yes, that's what I always say, and that's what couples really like, and that's actually why they approach me, because they want their loved ones to actually understand what is going on within the ceremony. Last weekend I had a German Dutch wedding, and even though German and Dutch are quite related,
Hmm.
uh, they get a grasp of it, but they don't get it all. And it's just so nice if I address the German speaking people in their own language and actually bring them into the ceremony. And that's what you feel with, it doesn't matter where they come from, if it's in English and Dutch, or Spanish and Dutch, or Italian and Dutch, um, or Italian and German, doesn't matter, all the combinations. The main thing is that you want people to be able to connect with the story, to actually understand what is going on, because the people who are getting married are their loved ones. So they want to know, they really want to be part of it.
Yeah, they're important to the bridal couple, so it's important for them to feel involved.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
And
that's
in
the case.
addition to your languages, which is
Mm-hmm.
quite a variety, I must say, what would you say is your wedding style?
Oh, my wedding style. As a person, I'm quite open and enthusiastic. The people who are watching this video will have seen, I speak with my hands as well, and that is reflected in my the style within my ceremonies. So it's warm, it's connecting. I try to really truly connect with people and make that connection, really a heartfelt connection with people. Cheerful. Um, I do like a bit of interaction depending on what, couple I work for and what, people I have in front of me. I do feel it brings people even more into the ceremony. Um, but if I have to name 3 words, I would say warm, connecting, and cheerful. Not too light-hearted. Maybe I should say light-hearted. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Which is basically, I think, if you look at me as a person, what you see is what you get. That's what I always say to my couples. If we meet, um, it shouldn't be too formal, and that's not who I am as a person. I'm open, enthusiastic, cheerful. I like to bring in creative moments, creative things, items. I'm always open to ideas, so flexible. I can name lots of other things, um, but
yeah,
that I think that's it, really. Yeah.
yeah. Because you work closely with a bridal couple. because the
Yes.
preparations are quite
Yes.
intensive for
Yes.
a wedding ceremony.
Yes. Yes.
Most people forget, since the wedding ceremony is well, maybe not the largest part of
Mm-hmm.
the wedding
Mm-hmm.
itself, but it
Mm-hmm.
is one, or at least even the most important part of the wedding itself. But it do takes a lot of preparations, right?
Mm.
And you must feel the
Mm.
connection with the bridal couple.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when you talk about your ideal couple,
Mm-hmm.
what types of, well, what kind of persons are they?
Who's my ideal bridal couple?
Yeah.
Um, First of all, I think we need to have a connection. I like to have a true connection. And that means that I like open couples who are not afraid to share their life and their love, the tears and the laughter, who people who are truly sharing everything, all the ins and outs of their lives with me. I do like driven people who know what they want, people who are not afraid to to leap into the unknown. That means that they always have wonderful stories, amazing stories. I like people who like to explore the world. It all has to do with that connection that I was mentioning. I traveled a lot myself as well, and um, it's easier to connect with people, I find, if they like what you like. And of course our job is listening. But
Yeah.
if you talk about ideal couples, a well-traveled entrepreneurial couple who is open and willing to share all the ins and outs of their lives. Yeah, I think that's it really. A fun couple as well. I like humor. I like laughter. I like to laugh myself as well. And it's always great to see if you have a couple that, even if they've been together for a long time, which sometimes is the case, that they still have fun together, because fun is a big part of life. I think you should make the most out of life,
Yeah.
and couples who do that, we have a match.
Yeah.
Sporty couples as well. I like sports.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I like to
What
watch
kind of
sports.
sports do you do yourself?
Oh, I love to play tennis. In a former life, I played badminton quite a lot, and did all right. Um, I love watching all kinds of sports. I think sport is a very important part of your life. Moving is very, to stay in motion is very important. I love to watch hockey, football. Very much into rowing. Have kids who row. Um, yeah, walking.
Talking about ideal couples, a little bird told me that
Mhm.
a dream of you came true, right? Talking of
Yes,
sports,
yes,
ideal
yes, yes.
couples.
Talking of sports, yes.
Do share.
Um, so one of the thing that couples that was on my list would be a couple with one person being an Olympic athlete. And that dream came true because I was rung just before the Olympics by the soon to be husband. And his wife was going to participate on behalf of the Netherlands at Tokyo Olympics. And I met up with them after the Olympics,
Hmm.
which she did very well. She actually got a medal. So that was really good. Met up with them, and that was like one of those couples that you have an instant click with.
Meant to
um,
be.
Meant to be, absolutely meant to be. And I married them last week in Amsterdam, a beautiful location which is called the Hortus Botanicus, uh, full of plants, tropical, and it was like a really nice crowd of people that surrounded them. They're very focused people, and if you are focused and into sports on that level, and both of them actually are, or he was, and she still is. You have limited time, and when you have limited time, you have to make choices. And when you have to make choices in what you're going to spend your time on, it means that the group of friends that you have is a small group of friends, but they are a loyal group of friends that were always there for them, and that understand the choices that you make. So it was a lovely crowd to have around, and it was a lovely wedding. Yes. So
Oh,
there you
wow.
go. Can tick that one off my list.
Yeah, good for you. Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, when you meet up with a couple, you would love to say that all three of you to say, I do. We feel that match. We feel that
Yeah.
vibe, that connection.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you have you ever had an experience or maybe something you can think about, you would say, oh no, that would be a no-go for me?
First of all, I think our job is to connect with people and to listen to people, and even if a person is not, doesn't have the same character as I do, you want to also give them that very beautiful moment in their lives. But a no-go would be, I think that's a difficult question. When there's totally no connection,
Yeah.
when I would feel, okay, that this is just, you are just so different from, I can't relate to you whatsoever, then I would say maybe it is better that you look for a different person, different personality than I am. Yeah.
And I think that's quite admirable from of you, but also very professional, because you want the best match for every bridal couple.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes. One
and
thing is being available on a particular date,
yeah,
because that is always the first question. Are you available on
mm-hmm.
that date? And if I say yes, but then when you have a talk, when I really feel, okay, this is not going to work, I think I would say that, yes, because
Yeah,
it does right to the couple as well, because really what they want is an unforgettable moment, and they deserve that.
yeah,
Everyone deserves that moment.
yeah. And
Mm.
you have experienced many, many memorable moments during
Yep.
all of the weddings you've done,
Lots
both
of
in the
stories.
Netherlands and abroad. Lots of stories indeed.
Mm,
Can you
mm.
share some of your favorite stories or memories with us?
Yes, I can. Let me think. Okay, just going back. Well, of course, the one I just spoke about, of the in Amsterdam in the Hortus Botanicus, which was lovely. And then this summer, I had a beautiful outdoor wedding. One of those days on which everything was just perfect. First of all, the couple to start with, I think we connected like immediately. That we had great contact, and they shared lovely stories with me, and their loved ones shared beautiful stories with me, which enabled me to write a really nice ceremony. It was in a private garden outside, and the sun was shining. It was like a small wood, and the sun was shining, and there was like a little breeze, and the setting was beautiful. The backdrop was a little lake, so that was pretty perfect. The crowd was warm. They were enthusiastic, very emotional, by the way. But that was lovely to see, because that meant that what I was saying and what was happening there really truly meant something to them. Um, and then the bride came into the scenery with her dad through the wood to the bench where the groom was standing. It was just it was just fabulous. It was live music. Um, it it was wonderful. I can't say anything else. Um, and then also this summer, because of course that's freshest in my memory,
Mm-hmm.
I had a couple that had been together for a long time, and they decided to get married now. That was, their decision. This is it. This is what we're going to do. Even though they had family members living abroad, because they are both Germans working and living in the Netherlands. And they were just so very much in love still. And I said to them after the ceremony that the room in which they married was too small for their love, and it really felt that way. They were so intense, intensely enjoying each other and holding hands and looking at each other. Again, it gives me the goosebumps. That was amazing.
Oh, the love radiates through the room then.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Wow. Absolutely. So that was very intense and beautiful. It was amazing. And maybe a fun third one. I love weddings that I can conduct in Spanish, because that means there are Latin people there, Mediterranean, South American, Middle America. And it's always different. First of all, the vibe is great because they are very much into connecting within the ceremony. It's always very vibrant. But
Bubbly.
Sorry?
Bubbly.
Absolutely. There's laughter. It's very cheerful always. But this particular wedding, it was early January. It was very, very special because I was only contacted 2 weeks before.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that was early January. So you imagine between Christmas and New Year, you have to see the people, you have to write your speech and make sure you're ready. I was ready. 3 days before the wedding, that were two lovely guys, two grooms, and they didn't have the shoes yet, they didn't have the flowers yet, they didn't have the cake yet. So that was, a few days before. And on the day itself, the intention was that the guests would arrive first, let's say 3:00, and that they would be there then 3:45, and then the ceremony would start at 4. But what happened is that the two grooms were there at 3:00 and none of the guests were there. So, clock's ticking, it's getting later and later. Lots of people from South America, and they just didn't arrive. They didn't arrive until 3:45. So the grooms were slightly starting to panic because the ceremony was supposed to start at 4:00. But there they were. Eventually they were all there. And the mother of one of the grooms got lost. So that's why she was late. And the thing was, she had the wedding cake with her. Oh. So it was a stormy day on the beach. So the sand was blowing everywhere. The wedding was inside, so that was not going to bother us. But the cake had to be transported from the car to the location. And there was no box.
I can feel something coming.
There was no box. So I don't know whether it must have been a very crunchy cake when they actually had it. But it was also that because it was different and because everything went not according to plan, it was fun. So, Daphne, we can write books about all this.
We can.
Yeah.
Yes, we can.
So that's exactly why I want to continue doing this, because of all the stories, because of all the people that you meet, and because of the beautiful moment that with their stories I can give them. Yeah, I think I can say that. I think that's a nice conclusion. Don't you think so?
Yeah, I think so too. And you clearly are in love with your job. So that's very nice to hear and to see about you. Yes. And if you're interested in to learn more about Jasperien, do check the show notes on our Instagram account. It's
Give me a
how
call.
to get
Contact
married
me.
in Holland. Yeah, call Jasperien. It's also nice to get to know each other, in a non-committal way, but just to see if that match is there between the three of you.
Well, there you go. That's very nicely said. Thank you, Daphne.
You're welcome, and talk soon, and hope to hear and listen in the next episode.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to How to Get Married in Holland.
We look forward to share more about organizing your wedding day in the Netherlands in the next episode.
Hit the subscribe button so you won't miss anything.
Any questions in the meantime?
Please ask wedding celebrants Daphne or Jasperien. You can find us, plus the show notes, on Instagram.
And if you love this podcast, please leave a review.
It gives us a higher ranking, so more fun international couples with Dutch wedding plans will be able to find us.
Until next time.